Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review a French film called Double Lover, this erotic thriller that gets released in the US the weekend after 50 Shades Freed, and this is much better. You should go see this if you want to get a little freaky with your theater viewing this weekend. Which, I'm going to say one thing real quick. There are a lot of old couples in the theater watching this film with me, and I'm like, I was trying to listen to some of the comments they were making when some of the stuff was going on in this film, because this goes there. This is indeed erotic thriller, and there's a lot of sex in this movie. But I digress. I'll get to. So this is directed by Francois Ozon, and I will butcher all these French names, so I apologize. This was shot by Manuel Decose. This was also written by Ozon and composed by Philippe Rombi, and this was the leading actress in this film, who was amazing, and I'll get to that, is Marine Vetch, and then Jeremy Renner's double, Jeremy Renier, whatever, sounds almost exactly like Jeremy Renner, and he did a really good job in this film. This film, I don't want to give a whole lot away, so what I'm going to say is it's about a woman who's dealing with things and trying to get past some health issues in her life that might be psychological in nature, and she falls in love with her psychiatrist. And then, does he have a twin? Is he also a psychiatrist? Is there a lot of sex in this movie? Yes, there is. And it's basically this woman trying to figure out some secrets going on in her life while also dealing with what issues are plaguing her, and trying to figure out the past of her now lover and having an affair with his potential twin brother. And boy, is this a crazy movie. This, honestly, from a story perspective, this movie is nuts. And where this goes, there's dream sequences, there's hallucinations, there's all kinds of crazy things that you could ever want in a crazy thriller like this, and then there's very intense, very sexual related scenes, and this goes places, and it's very graphic, but the thing is, the way I'm describing it and making exaggeration out of it, this is a very tense film and very well made film, and the sexual tension in this film is really well done, and the Francois Ozon does such a great job building this film up, building that tense tension. From a story perspective, does this get a little wonky, and towards the third act it loses me a little bit, because honestly, some of the things I don't know what happened or what's supposed to be happening. There's some final realizations that do hit well with me, and I'm like, oh, that was really interesting. But the third act, or actually really the very end of this film, probably the last 10 minutes, makes this something that I'm probably not going to rewatch and want to buy, because it falls apart a bit for me, which is my biggest distraction of this film. But what's leading up to it, like the very beginning where she first falls in love with her therapist, and they're very tense scenes, but it's not super interesting until this idea of, does he have a twin? Something weird going on here. So she has double lovers. Get it? Now, once it gets to that point, this film really turns it up, and it's very interesting. I was on the edge of my seat trying to figure out what the answer was to all these secrets and what really went on and what's going on in this film. And I have to say, Manuel Decose, who did the cinematography for this is a gorgeous film. The camera work is fantastic. Use of mirrors is really impressive, and thematically, and there's a lot going on there. The opening sequence of this film, so she gets a haircut at the very beginning, but then the next thing that happens is she has a cervix exam. So it's you're looking straight into her vagina, and then it cuts straight to her eye and her iris and stuff like that. I'm just the editing and the framing of this film and the camera work was so on point with exactly what they're trying to do with this film, and it's a beautifully shot film, and from a cinematic perspective, this is a beautiful, great film. And where the story kind of falls apart towards the end, from just a filmmaking perspective, this is a really, really well done film, and I really appreciated it. Did some of the scenes make me feel a little uncomfortable? Yeah, and especially because for some reason there's tons of seats in this whole entire theater, and of course a couple had to sit right behind me in the theater, and I had to hear all their comments, and there's some seats, like the one behind me just kept laughing uncomfortable laughs throughout some of the sequences. And I think the older couple in the back, there's a role reversal scene. That's how I'm gonna phrase it for the context of this video in terms of an intimate scene. And they're like, I don't know what's going on here, and it's just like, oh my god. So I had some extra added fun watching this film in the theater with some of the reactions of other people in the theater. But overall, I think this is a really well done, very surprising, sexy, intense thriller. And does it get crazy and keeps on getting crazier throughout the film? Yeah. Does it fall apart a little bit? Yeah. But if you are really looking for something like that for Valentine's Day, please go see this and not 50 Shades Freed, because at least this isn't based off of a trashy novel. It is written off of a novel, but I'm sure that it's well written, unlike 50 Shades Freed. But I'm going to stop shitting on that. So what I'm going to give the Double Lover is a B+.